This boat's an experiment for us. We're playing with it this year to see if we really want to use it. And so far, it's been pretty busy. So my name is John Lipscomb, and I'm the patrol boat operator for Riverkeeper, Hudson Riverkeeper. Riverkeeper is a citizen-funded environmental enforcement group. We're about 42 years old now. We're not part of the state or federal enforcement. And a good part of our staff is made up of environmental attorneys, and we use state and federal environmental laws to enforce against polluters when other state and federal agencies won't. Today we're going up to Stuyvesant to do a patrol using a skiff of a Army Corps of Engineers dredge spoil dump on a peninsula called Houghtaling Island. This dredge spoil dump site is adjacent to a state park. So basically I'm looking to see what kind of impact is taking place to this area. Half of Houghtaling Island is the site we're going to look at. They're not islands anymore because when it was deemed desirable that the Port of Albany be turned into a deep water port, they dredged a primary channel and they pumped all the sediment, the spoil, up onto existing little islands. They created new islands, and they backfilled all the channels between the islands. There's no undoing that now. That's history. What I'm interested in here is why we still need to have impacts to natural areas to maintain the Port of Albany. There are 17,000 units of housing on paper, planned for or underway between Yonkers and Albany. And there are guys, like there's an older guy that fishes out of Catskill, and he's been all his life commercial fisherman, hunter, maple syrup guy, farmer, I guess you call him. But he's also an environmentalist. He's a teacher now. And I asked him once, over his whole life, what changes has he seen in this upper third of the Hudson? And he says there's less of everything except houses. And that was before the big gold rush for the land here. So I have the advertisement in my files for this property, but it essentially says, you know, 3 parcels. It says close to or next to eagle nesting habitat. This is where they bring the big ship. This is the kind of a dock they've created. And then they hook up the plumbing of the big ship to pump the material and water through that big pipe up into the center. Duck hunting?
Yeah.
How much longer is it going to go? They hang around till the ice?
Yeah. There's ice in a lot of spots, actually.
Yeah.
Bald eagles hanging around out here, Joe.
There were 6 down at the corner.
Yeah.
You better watch out. You're about dinner size.
Yeah. Alright guys, see ya.
If a contractor in my town in Upper Nyack put in erosion fencing that sits above the surface like this, they get a fine. So this erosion fencing is here just to look good. Here you can see under it, up there. So from the other side of the road, it looks good. It's doing nothing. I need a couple of stills of this as we go. It does sound like there's big machines up there. So you can see what they're doing. They're pumping all the water up here. You can see the heavy machinery on the other side. You know, again, it's very hard on a day like today to put this in context, but this is the most remote peninsula in the entire estuary. There's lots of places besides here to put the spoil. This is a leftover of the old times when the Army Corps sacrificed, you know, 60% of the shallow water habitat of the upper Hudson in order to make the channel. We have to find a way of having our deep water channel and have habitat. And this is so rare. This is so rare to have an unroaded parcel this size. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the 150 miles of estuary. I don't know, you know, I don't think that it's tempting to wait until you have the answer before you go and suggest a change. That's not the job. Our job is to say this is very desirable habitat. It's adjacent to state park. We don't need to be using it for a landfill. And the Army Corps says itself that some of the sediment that they're putting here is contaminated. So we should be able to do better. You know, it wasn't a big day. You often have days like today. You come home with photos or some samples, and you never know what it'll yield. And it's possible that a year or two from now, that Army Corps landfill could be closed, restored, and added to the state park. And that's no small accomplishment. So without small days like today, you never get a shot at the big days. So anyway, we'll take these pictures back and show the gang.